Okay, I'll call the monthly board meeting of the Shell Rock River Watershed for May 9th, 2023. Leah, please call roll.
Manager Kramer.
Here.
Manager Susie.
Here.
Manager Hanson.
Here.
Manager Pistorius.
Here.
Manager Bachman.
Here.
Manager Dalton.
Here. Item number 2, public forum. For the public, so we'll go on to item number 3, the consent agenda. Following items will be acted upon without discussion in accordance with the staff recommendation and associated documents unless a manager requests the opportunity for discussion. A, the minutes of the April 11th, 2023 Shell Rock River Watershed monthly board meeting. B, April 2023 treasury report subject to audit. C, April 2023 project fund treasury report subject to audit. D, authorized payment of claims. E, authorized payment of project fund disbursements. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second by Manager Wachowski and by Manager Kramer. Any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Susie.
Aye.
Manager Hanson.
Aye.
Manager Pistorius.
Aye.
Manager Bachman.
Aye.
Manager Dalton.
Aye. Okay, number 4, approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions?
Mr. Chair, we have 2 additions. We have item 5F, which is a motion to purchase water monitoring equipment. And item 5G, which is a resolution to submit the SRRWD grant request for 2020.
With that, do I have a motion to approve with the correction or addition? Okay. Manager Hanson, do I have a second?
Second.
By Manager Wachowski, any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Susie.
Aye.
Manager Hanson.
Aye.
Manager Pistorius.
Aye.
Manager Bachman.
Aye.
Manager Dalton.
Item number 5, Administrator Andy Henschel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item A, motion to approve equipment purchase for tractor replacement. This is replacing our John Deere 3039. Would like to go back to the Toolcat. We previously had one prior to John Deere 3039. It's a little bit more versatile than what we need to use it for. It's also a little bit user friendly for staff that could be operating the machine. So if you look, the price, this is a government contract from Bobcat. Total price with the trade-in of 3039 is $49,777.30. Just to go through the trade-in for the John Deere 3039R with loader and bucket, we're receiving $28,000. The forks 800, 72-inch mower deck, that's the mid deck, 1,500, the 72-inch rotary cutter, 1,500, the 64-inch snow blower, 3,000, for a total of $34,000 in trade-in value, which again brings that cost of the Toolcat to $49,770.30. I did get one question from a manager that they did not see a mower with the tool in the bid. That is because the mower from Bobcat, we had a few issues with the last style we had, so we're going to look at a different type mower, which we'll buy from a third party. It will not be a Bobcat brand. Costs on those vary anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000, depending on style. So you will not see a mower in this bid.
Do I have a motion to approve equipment purchase? Manager Kramer, do I have a second?
Second.
Manager Wachowski, any discussion?
One thing I'd like to maybe see if you can inquire if the dealer can provide operator training that will just take some liability out of the district in case of incident while operating it. Dealers will include that, so.
Perfect.
I have a question also. Now this mower that you're going to purchase, is that going to be like a brush mower or is it going to be a regular mower?
It'll be more like a flail mower, so we can mow brush. I mean, that's our biggest thing is trying to get small trees and stuff that are growing on some of our properties. So it's gonna be a heavier duty flail mower, which we can, most of the ones I'm looking at, you can cut up to a 3-inch sapling or tree.
Do you know how many total acres you're managing?
Well, we had some discussion with this with the chair. Most of what we manage locally within this would include fish barriers, country club property. You know, we're right at that 75 to 80 acres. However, this would allow us for future expansion into one of the issues Courtney and I have found is it's harder to find people to seed our smaller properties that we purchase. So one thing that we would look at doing is purchasing a seeder at some time in the future with this to be able to manage those smaller areas to seed. And then we pay basically a higher amount just because we're seeding smaller acreages. It's not a big acreage. Now, if it's over 50 acres, we're gonna hire that out. But if it's small, 12, 15 acre piece, we can do that in-house with this piece.
Any other discussion? Will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Besuski. Manager Hanson.
Aye.
Manager Pistorius.
Aye.
Manager Bakken.
Aye.
Manager Melton.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item B is a motion to approve the Section 21 as the listing agent for the country club property. Again, you've seen this listing agent or listing agreement before. If you remember at the last meeting, there was a approval of a contract. However, at this time, that contract has been pulled due to the individual that brought that contract to us. We're still in negotiation with that, but as of now, I want to have the ability to put the property out for sale. So I'd like us to approve the listing agreement with Century 21 for the country club property.
We have a motion to approve Century 21 as a listing agent. The country club property. I'll introduce the motion. Motion by Manager Bakken. Do I have a second? Second. By Manager Pistorius. Any discussion? Hearing none, please.
Previous listing before. 37.
We have had a previous listing on this. At that time, it was with Leland Realty. That one expired about 1.5 years ago. So then we've been working on trying to work with the city, trying to figure out infrastructure that's in place. We've done that. So now we're ready to put it up for sale again.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Besuski.
Aye.
Manager Hanson.
Abstain.
Manager Pistorius.
Aye.
Manager Bakken.
Aye.
Manager
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item C is a district fish barrier update. For those that know, we have 5 fish barriers, 4 of them that constantly run. Those would be the largest fish barrier is on the Shell Rock River at the Overly Lake Dam. The second one would be the Mud Lake fish barrier, the lake or fish barrier that protects the outlet of Pickerel Lake. We also have one on White's Lake, which is right off County 13. We have one at the Wedge Creek outlet into Bone Lake, and then we have one on I call it Goose Lake, or there's a ton of different names, but it's Mud Lake. Is it Mud Lake or the one that comes from
Goose Lake.
Goose Lake?
Goose Lake.
You said Goose Lake.
Yeah, I
It's
said
on
Goose
Green Leaf property.
It's on the Green Lake Golf Course property. However, for those that remember, that one hasn't worked. It functions fine, however, there's not enough flow to push the fish off of the barrier. So they die and then cause a mess for the golf course, which causes a mess for us. We are working still with Smith, Rudd and WSB on a mechanical barrier to replace that electrical fish barrier. But with that said, we have 4 of them that operate full-time that have not had any maintenance on them since pretty much the start of COVID. So we're looking at, I did sign a contract with Smith Rudd to come down and inspect and run through all 4 of the barriers. Roughly the bill on that's gonna be roughly a little over $10,000. You'll see there's a invoice for that in the bills or in the claims. I'm also working with a generator company, Interstate Power, to come down and service all 4 of the generators. Those are backup generators, so if something happens, that the generators will then run the barriers. If you remember when the tornado went through, over by Armstrong area, that knocked out all power to Mud Lake. That generator ran and protected Pickerel Lake for about a week and a half on that site. So I don't know what the bill for that service to the generators will be. You will see that probably in the next month's claims. So any questions on fish barrier updates?
For that $10,000, then they're just gonna go and look at things, or that have some replacement parts?
There is some replacement parts in there, however, if it is the electrodes, which are the metal rings or bands that fall within the culverts, that would not be part of it. That we would have to then at a later time have a contract with somebody else to replace those. But anything within the cabinets that needs to be replaced, that would all be covered.
Question on the Greenling one, do we have a timeline on the replacement there? It's been 3-4 years, hasn't it, since?
I've been longer than that. The question comes, the question that we've been having is who's responsible. There's been a lot of back and forth between the engineer WSB and the equipment provider, Smith Rudd. Smith Rudd did most of the design work. And again, there's questions on who was responsible to make sure that the flow was at a high enough level to push those off. And it's sort of a it's sort of a, I hate to say it, a pissing match between the two, to try to figure out who's going to pay for it. But yeah, we were close to having something agreed upon before COVID hit, and then everything sort of fell apart. So I'm on my 3rd try to get something moving there. So
I think we should put some deadlines on the engineering and few things here so we can get a result. Okay.
Who's going down and cleaning that all up there now? With the dead fish off of the,
we don't run it because of that.
oh, okay, all right, yeah.
All right, no other questions. I'll move on to item D is the Minnesota Watershed Monthly Updates. Again, we put this in your packet. Again, this is just to show again what MOD, the Minnesota Watersheds is working on. There's a lot of good stuff in here. They have a little bit on the legislative recommendations of the legacy bill. You can see there's 3 other watershed districts that are right now in the legacy omnibus bill, which looks like it will get approved. That's Buffalo Red, Comfort Lake, and us, the Shell Rocky Watershed. Again, that is what we're looking at in item G that you'll see, and that's for the 2024 legislative session. There is also some really good articles in here on some drainage issues that are going on throughout the state. And just a note, also, what page is it? Page 4. I believe it's page 6. The second, third to the last page. If anybody's interested, there's a 2023 agricultural drainage and future water quality spring field trip coming up May 25th. So if anybody's interested in that, put the link here on the computer, go to the website. See if you're interested in that. If you are, let us know, and we'll get signed up for that. So that's the biggest thing for the board. But a lot of good information. So if you have time, please go check it out. I know Brad, who sits on the board for municipal watersheds, has been working hard. I know they've been trying to do a lot to really organize Minnesota watersheds and move it forward. So again, thanks Brad for doing that. Item E is a Shell Rock Watershed Employment Opportunity Update. We did hire for right now a part-time summer help. Colin Ellerts is the kid's name. He comes from the Bryceland area. He is graduating from, or Connor, what did I say? Connor Ellerts, sorry.
Takes me a while too.
He comes from the Bryceland area. He graduated a couple of days ago, I believe, from Waterloo Community College in conservation. He's got a pretty good resume as far as what he's done in the past. We've contacted his other employers. He's a hardworking kid, so we're really hoping that turns out well, and hopefully we can introduce you to him next month. So. All right, item C is a motion to purchase water monitoring equipment. So you'll see in front of you, laid out some water monitoring equipment that look like buoys. These are in fact buoys. There's two types of buoys. You're going to see the DB600, which is a real-time data buoy, and you're going to see the EMM25 sound spar. What I'm looking at for this year is looking at putting out 3 DB600 real-time data buoys, one in Pickerel, one in Fountain, and one in Albert Lee Lake. What I'd like to do is I'd like to see us upgrade to this style. This can give us real-time data out or right here in the office through the cloud. You don't have to go out, pull the sonde, download the sonde, and do all that. It sort of makes it real time. You know, the overall goal is to actually put this data on our website, so people at any time can go on our website and see the real-time data that's being generated from this. Now, again, this buoy isn't the sondes. The sondes, we have 4 sondes that would fit within these buoy parameters. That leaves us 3 sondes for each of the 3 locations in each of the 3 lakes, and then lets us have 1 spare sonde that we'll do all of our field tests in our streams that we do. So at this time, I don't need any more sondes. However, as I move forward, we will be looking at some different parameters for the parameters that we sample on the lake stuff versus the stream stuff. So what I want to do is also show you the EM25. This is not real time, there's no telemetry. This just holds the sonde in the same location throughout the summer. At those locations within the lake, and we'll take readings every 15 minutes. Once a month, then we can go out to the sonde, download it onto a handheld device, bring it back to the computer. But it just gives us that stability of monitoring the same location every time within those lake parameters that I'm looking for. So for this, I would actually, for next year, looking for 2 on Fountain Lake and 2 on SRRWD Lake. That would cover all of our monitoring locations like we have for both Pickerel, SRRWD, and Fountain Lake. So the price of the DV 600 real-time data buoy for everything that we need is $12,711. So we want 3 of those. You gotta take that times 3. That is per unit. And again, not looking for the EM25 sans bars until next year, but those are priced at $2,685. I don't have a calculator on me, and I forgot to total that. Take 12,711 times 3.
12,711 times 3.
Yep.
It is $38,133.
So would be looking for a motion to approve the $38,180. $33. But before we get to there, just to give you a little bit more other rundown. This is a list of all the probes that you can put on these sondes. These sondes will hold 5 different probes, plus also give us depth. That's the other nice thing about the DV 600, which is real time. Right now, we actually have a separate probe that we get lake elevation from every 1 minute. I think it takes a reading. This would actually get rid of those probes because this will do this internally. So we don't need to update those other probes, which are at the length of time when they should be looked at. So just to give you some examples of some of the probes that we're looking at putting out there, there's basically 2 new ones for the in-lake monitoring, and that's the total algae sensor, which we have not run on any of our probes in the past, but this is a new sensor. This one actually has really good plus minus air in it. It's minimal compared to what the old algae sensors have been, and that's why we never put the old ones on there. Is because there was just too much variable in the results. And the other one that we would look at is they have a new fluorometer probe, and again, that has to do with again algae and basically turbidity. It helps with the turbidity readings on the lakes, so it'll give us a better turbidity reading throughout the lake, which is also what we refer to as Psyche disc readings. So we try to compare the Psyche disc with the turbidities. But the nice thing is it will give that to us again through telemetry, which means we can look at it and collect those samples on a daily basis, including evening and nighttime, which right now we don't get samples at those times because of course we don't have staff working at night. So we haven't had those readings before, which will be nice to compare to what we see in the day, because when you have phosphorus bloom or algae blooms, those readings will shift dramatically, especially like DO and stuff like that. So looking for a motion again to purchase 3 of the DV 600s for a total cost of $38,182 or $32. $3. Can't read it already.
You'll have a motion.
Yeah.
Manager Pasuski, you'll have a second.
Second.
Manager Kramer, any discussion?
I have a question on, so is there a support contract that goes with these, or do we have staff that can do the testing, or what are we looking at here?
So as far as these are pretty much plug and go. What the sondes are, what the sondes that fit in this too. Which is what we've run in the past, these YSI XO3s, that's what we have. Back here, that's what we've used to monitor for the last. Well, we've been using them since 2012. A version of the YSIs, the XO3s, we started, I believe, in 18. With the swag or with the PCA grant, can't think of it offhand. But those are the pieces that need to be calibrated and all that stuff, and we do have. I'm working with Travis DeGroot from Tech Sales, that's who sells us this equipment. And for the new staff coming in, myself and Courtney, we will have some training on that with Tech Sales. Otherwise, you just put the buoy in this and then pretty much turn on the on switch and let it go. So as far as the probes and the calibration of the probes, that's where the from Tech will come in. And yes, we will get him trained on those. Thank you.
Your question, what's the expected life cycle on?
So the biggest thing, the shortest life expectancy is the actual probes itself. That go within the meter. Now, most of those probes will last 3 to 4 years. Some of them have a very short timeline. The nitrate, they have a nitrate LED kit probe. That warranty is not even a year, I believe it's 6 months, so I don't recommend us going with those probes. But we've had most of these probes, like I said, there's only 2 ones that we haven't had. I did ask Travis what the length of life on those probes are, and he says 2 to 3 years, which is average for all the probes. As far as the buoys themselves, I look at these as a long-term thing. There's not much that can go wrong with them besides maybe the light and the beacon going out. Maybe somebody breaks the solar panel. Otherwise, I think these are pretty much long-term. I'm looking at them as long-term. I mean, I think we can have these out easily 10 years.
What are we looking at for savings as far as like man-hour times to go out and downloading the data and stuff like that? What would we anticipate maybe per month during the summer season, for example?
Per month during the summer season, you're probably looking at for each trip, you're probably looking at 4 hours of a day. We look at right now, we monitor every other week. So it's not so much the big savings of staff, it's having that data readily available to us. If I was to send staff out there as much as I want to see the data, it'd be a huge staff savings. But it's more the available, having the data available at any time we want, and also getting these samples during the times that we don't monitor, like at night or evenings or after a big rainfall event, we want to look at, so we can just pull the data now, or before, get the boat ready, get everything hooked up, get out there and do it. So
Then also I see an opportunity to do like a real-time dashboard on our website that shows water clarity or something. Is that part of
yeah, and that's part of the thoughts, the long-term plan is to get that stuff into the public's hands, so they can go right to our website, see what the data looks like, especially if we're starting to see some algal blooms or something like that. Hopefully they can be able to see that.
One more question. So on water monitoring, do we still have those costs then too? Or will this give us more information then, or the same amount as water monitoring?
This will give us the same amount as our water monitoring. We'll still go out every other week and take a grab sample for the different parameters that we monitor for, that probes can't monitor for us. So nothing will change as far as that is concerned.
Basically, it's going to give us a lot more control of the water monitoring.
Correct.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer?
Aye.
Manager Pastuski?
Aye.
Manager Hanson?
Aye.
Manager Pistorius?
Aye.
Manager Bachman?
Aye.
Manager Belt?
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item G, I am gonna turn that over to Courtney Phillips.
Go ahead, Courtney.
I love that, like,
It's been 5 years and sometimes we still subscriptions.
Sure.
So I am looking for a resolution 2023-02, which is our Lessard Sam's grant application. The applications are due the end of this month. The biggest projects that we are looking at putting into our phase 13, so we're quite a few number of years, but we still keep getting funding and we're still implementing good projects, so let's keep the momentum going. Is we're looking at doing more of the channel restoration. We do have a chunk of funds out of last allocation to do the channel. However, it's not enough, so we're looking to put a good chunk of funds, probably like around 2 million towards the rest of the channel restoration. And then also another project that we've been working on is the Panicum Prairie project down by the Grass Lake area. When we've been working with NRCS as well as Bowser, there's just so much that can be done in that area as far as wetland restoration work that we're going to be contributing more funds to that type of project. There's also some landowners that are interested in selling ground in that area that are either under easements or very close to current easements, and there's like trespass issues and they want to get rid of that kind of stuff. So we're looking at including that. So our total application is not finalized yet, but we're looking at around $5 million that we would submit towards our phase 13 allocation. So if there's a first and a second, I will read the resolution.
so moved.
Second, Andrew Hanson, Andrew Patuski, any discussion? Start.
I'll read it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Discussion.
Well, I'm good ahead of myself.
Sounds good. Resolution 2023-02 Shell Rock River Watershed District LSOHD grant application. Be it resolved that the Shell Rock River Watershed District, hereinafter referred to as applicant, acts as the legal sponsor for the Shell Rock River Watershed Habitat Restoration Program, Phase 13, contained in the Lessard Sam's Outdoor Heritage Council application to be submitted on May 26, 2023, and be it further resolved that the applicant is hereby authorized to apply to the LSOHD, hereinafter referred to as state, for funding of the intended projects on behalf of the applicant. Be it further resolved that the applicant has the legal authority to apply for financial assistance and institutional, managerial, and financial capability to ensure adequate acquisition, maintenance, and protection of the intended projects. Be it further resolved that the applicant has not incurred any construction costs or has not entered into any written agreements to purchase property for intended projects. Be it further resolved that the applicant has not violated any federal, state, or local laws pertaining to fraud, bribery, graft, kickbacks, collusion, conflict of interest, or other unlawful or corrupt practice. Be it further resolved that upon approval of the application by the state, the applicant may enter into agreement with the state for the above referenced project, and that the applicant certifies that it will comply with all applicable laws and regulations as stated in the contract agreement. Now therefore be it resolved that Andy Henschel, District Administrator for the Shell Rock River Watershed District, is hereby authorized to execute such agreements as are necessary to implement the intended projects on behalf of the applicant, dated May 9th, 2023.
Now, is there any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Pasuski.
Aye.
Manager Hanson.
Aye.
Manager Pistorius. Manager Bachman.
Aye.
Manager Delcher.
Aye. Resolution 2023-02 passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
That's it, huh? Okay, are there any manager items?
Just an update for maybe me, I don't know if everybody knows, bonding issue.
So it's actually been really quiet up there. It sounds like there was some movement last week on the bonding package. Again, it's been real quiet. I've reached out to not only our lobbyist, but also Mod's lobbyist, along with the Red River Watershed lobbyist. It's just been super quiet up there. So the rumor is that they're moving on one. And it's, the rumor has it that it could be even at the end of the week here, that something's done. If you remember back when we started this, they wanted to push through 2 bonding bills. What I understand, that's still the case. They want to have one large one and then one smaller one dedicated to infrastructure. Have not heard much. Again, it's pretty quiet, but as soon as I do hear, I will let you know. But it sounds promising that they are hopefully working together, and we'll get out, a bonding bill that includes majority of projects. Again, we're in both bills, which is the good news. The bad news, again, in the Senate, on the Senate side, they haven't pushed that through yet. Of course, the House side has, voted on it to pass it the way it is. So fingers crossed, but hopefully they can work through their disagreements and get it done. So,
Timeline,
so session ends May 22nd, so they got about 2.5 weeks, so.
so hopefully they'll get it done, but if they don't, we have any kind of plan.
Well, the backup plan would then be, we can't do the project without bonding, so.
State funds or federal funds.
State or federal funds, correct. There needs to be some assistance monetarily to finish the project.
Other ways they could do it.
Yeah, there's other ways. It would have to be, more likely it would have to go through legislation, through whether it be DNR, funding. I don't know, PCA would be a tougher one, but there could be other legislation through other grant sources.
DNR main. That's a good plan B, but a good plan.
Again, our focus is the bonding. I think that's our best
For
for
the
that.
next 2 weeks.
So once we find out there, then we can go to plan B and organize it.
Okay. Another question. I don't know if I missed the meeting here or not, so I'm just trying to bring myself up to speed, but that ever happened with the Red Benson issue.
So at the last one, you guys agreed to move forward with this contract or his offer. However, he has pulled his offer. So that is why we are moving forward with the listing agreement with Century 21, because as of right now, we have no offers. There will be negotiations with them and how the district wants to pursue some of the other stuff. Like if we want to hold him to his offer, which, again, I don't think it's worth the dollars that I could take to fight any of that. So, my recommendation to the board or to the committee will be, I do want to have a committee meeting on that. Is just to accept his withdrawal of his offer and move forward with getting it listed and getting it sold.
You need a motion for that?
Not at this time.
My opinion is we drop it. Let the new listing go and put it work on.
Yep.
We are. Listing.
Right now, it's not listed in here. If you go off our old listing, I believe our base price was $650. But the committee will work on that base price, bring it back to the board for the to be implemented in the listing.
Right.
Yeah, any other manager items? Item 7, upcoming meetings. Workshop is still to be determined. And then we have coming up is going to be the watershed summer tour, June 20, 22, 23, or June 20th through the 22nd. We have, what day are we supposed to be there to help out with it? 22nd?
Both days.
All days. Okay.
So the 20th is the big day. That's the day that we have the welcome reception at Wedgewood. We also have some training earlier on in the day. We also have some updates from our partners, Bowser, DNR, PCA. So that, you know, we encourage you guys to come to those events. And then the 21st is the bus tour, which will go look at some of our projects. And also look at Turtle Creek and Cedar River projects as well. Because we're doing this in partnership with the other two watershed districts. So it would be nice if a couple of you guys could, you know, go on the tour as well. But again, totally up to you, but let us know if you want to go to the reception, let us know so we can get you signed up. And registered for all that. And again, the reception is the evening of the 20th. Bus tour is the 21st. Buses, I believe, will leave the hotel at 8:30 a.m. And move out to the different projects. If we have enough signed up, sending 2 buses in different directions. We'll meet at Edgewater Pavilion for lunch. We have 2 food trucks that you guys can choose where you want to eat. And that's all paid through your registration. And then buses will then go to the opposite ones in the afternoon. So, should be a good time.
Sounds like fun. That's all we have, so I have a motion to adjourn. So moved. By Manager Pasuski, do I have a second? Second by Manager Bakken. Will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Pasuski.
Aye.
Manager Hanson.
Aye.
Manager Pistorius.
Aye.
Manager Bakken.
Aye.
Manager Belcher.
Aye, we are adjourned.
Thanks, gentlemen.